Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you may be. CC here, Chris.
Oh, hey there, Bips, and what are you laughing at? Is it the fact that you just got electrocuted? I mean, look at that hair. That shit ain't natural, yo. Yep, that's one explanation, and probably the explanation for all of his videos. 20,000 volts to the testicles will make a man do some real crazy shit. What crazy shit are we talking about today?
Space. The final frontier. These are the voyages of the USS Enterprise. Its continuing mission.
You see, that's why I write scripts. So when I start a thought, I can actually finish it instead of laughing like the deranged ghost of Wayne Static, may he rest in metal. It is these are the voyages of the Starship Enterprise, its continuing mission to explore strange new worlds, to seek out new life and new civilizations, to boldly go where no one has gone before. And yes, I do know that from memory, but that does not make me a giant nerd. It's my vast collection of Captain Picard porn that does that.
I forgot. Sorry. It sucks. But the whole point of that show.
Well, if you actually knew the intro crawl, it's kind of in that. They went to space and they looked at some stuff. And then Data said, "Me, I'm the real boy now." Worf got bitch slapped across a room while Geordi walked into yet another wall. And Riker grew his third beard that episode. And probably something about Earl Grey tea.
Well, not the show. Forget about the show. Forget about it.
But you brought it up. What are you doing? You know, when you're trying to make a point, the reason you bring things up, especially if it's the first thing you talk about, it's supposed to be like at least illustrative of your point. Otherwise, you're just saying words for no reason. Although, to be fair, that has been his shtick for the entirety of his YouTube career. So,
how can you continue the mission? How can you even start the mission when you can't get into space?
So we're supposed to forget the show, but also the point entirely depends on thinking about the premise of the show. My god, dude, the whiplash from this video could knock a man's head clean off. Fuck me. Oh, and of course they don't get into space. The ships are too big for that. Have you seen the episodes where they land one of those things on a planet? They always look kind of silly with their giant fucking dinosaur legs. Anyway, no, they teleport onto the ships and the planets and all that. Some say it was for budgetary reasons, but we all know it's so that they could steal the DNA of their crew members and sell it on the black market. Don't trust them Starfleet motherfuckers. Lieutenant Barclay was right.
Don't you see that? You can't go to space.
No. You know what, guys? He's right. Of all the things that I am going to do in my life, going to space just isn't on the list. And that's because I'm far too poor. And by too poor, I mean I could be extremely wealthy, have a successful threshing empire with 2.5 sedans and a third holiday home in Minsk. You know, the height of luxury living. And I wouldn't even be close to affording that kind of shit. But you know, if I could, or if I actually did my homework in school and got into space university, I absolutely would be able to go into space. But no, never gonna happen. You're right, by accident, the only way that you're ever right.
To research shit!
Oh, you know, I research shit all the time. It's called pretty much every single argument that I have ever covered on this channel, whether it be anti-science nonsense or various philosophical dead ends. And of course, that includes Flat Earth, a favorite of yours. I would recommend for you, Chris, is that you stop researching shit because for some reason, when you're done with it, instead of coming to the conclusion that this was in fact shit, you somehow think it's a delicious chocolate cake. And then you're all surprised when no one wants to share.
You can go to other lands. Yes, you can.
Oh, can I? That's nice. And how would I get there? I want the quickest route, so, you know, straight lines are the best. No, Chris, that's not right. You only think that's short because you don't know what the shape of the planet actually is. That's a really long journey. Almost like the planet isn't the galactic hubcap that you think it is, dumbass.
Past the Arctic Wall.
Past the Arctic Wall, that isn't there, and you can fly right over anyway, because of course you can. The planet you live on is a globe that is floating, oh, that's right, in fucking space, a place that you can get to, by the way, presuming, you know, all the other factors, because we have done it so many times. And we send stuff there constantly to do a bunch of shit that you obviously take for granted, but I presume that you think functions on goddamn magic.
Yes, you can go there. But you can't get into space. Space doesn't exist.
Well, then what the fuck is up there? What do we keep sending all those astronauts and rockets and satellites and rovers and all the other shit that we send that also sends back telemetry and can often be fucking seen from the planet doing its thing if it is relatively close, like, you know, the ISS? Let me guess. It's fake because you say so. End of story. But don't worry, he does have shit research backing him up, so...
And I'll tell you why. Because rockets, if space did exist, would not work in space.
Uh-oh, this old chestnut, the fundamental misunderstanding of how basic physics works. I mean, that's all of this guy's words, he says, but this one is also common among various conspiracy idiots, or conspidiots, as they shall henceforth be known until I forget.
Now they say, oh, well, he must be some sort of scientist to understand how rockets work.
They who and he who? Do you mean you who? Because again, no one is saying that about you specifically. I mean, for God's sake, you aren't even wearing a lab coat that you bought from the internet. I mean, I own a lab coat, several in fact, and that doesn't mean that I am a scientist, unless I'm at the science shop, where I am Mr. Science Guy, the Sciencer Man, from the TV, and they give me all kinds of free shit. The other day they gave me this. Hell if I know what it's for, but it sure does look cool. They told me not to open it, but what could the harm possibly be? Does anyone else smell bleeding?
Well, no.
First genuinely accurate thing he said, possibly ever. No, you definitely aren't a scientist, and you know what? You don't need to be. In fact, understanding most of the basic mechanics of space travel doesn't require any kind of qualification or title. It just requires the genuine desire to actually learn things. When you are interested in how the world around you actually works and actually receptive to that information, you can know a shit ton about how the universe functions. Unfortunately, knowing real things doesn't allow you to pretend to be smarter than everyone else or have some secret knowledge, and that's where flirfs tend to trip up. That and when they're tying their shoelaces.
You take a vacuum sealed box and you try to light a match in it and it has no air, the match won't ignite.
So, oh god, I was wrong. This isn't what I thought it was. I thought this was, well, rockets don't work because it can't push off space, which is not how fucking rockets work. They don't push off against the atmosphere to move, they push off against themselves, more or less. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. It's exactly why when you throw a bowling ball off a skateboard, as we all do, don't lie, you will move backwards. Well, same would happen in space. You throw an object, you will move in the opposite direction. You shit out flames, same thing. But what he's gonna say is just so much fucking dumber. Holy crap.
You see, that's the problem with rockets, is they need ignition. Okay? There is no ignition in space. It's impossible.
So basically his problem is that there's no oxygen in space, therefore rockets couldn't do anything. But that's... Chris, you know you told us how we don't research it. Did it ever occur to you to research how do space rockets work? To have maybe a teeny tiny little nosy and find out, oh, I don't know, maybe what they put in them? Rocket fuel is a substance that provides both fuel to burn and an oxidizer to provide oxygen for combustion to produce thrust. Common fuels include liquid hydrogen and kerosene, which are burned with liquid oxygen. Wait a second. What's that, Chris? Is that oxygen? The thing that they don't have in space, but why would they bring it with them? Oh, right, to fucking burn shit in space. It's almost like your match analogy doesn't account for the fact that they do account for that shit. Isn't that weird?
It's a vacuum. There's no air. You know what air is? That's what I'm breathing right now.
Are you sure? Because frankly, if you weren't breathing enough, that might explain a lot about your opinions. I mean, the symptoms of oxygen deprivation include shortness of breath, confusion, and restlessness. And damned if you do sound kinda short of breath. You seem pretty fucking restless and confusion. Well, that shit goes without saying. Maybe crack open a window, mate. Huffing your own farts is gonna fucking kill you at this rate.
That's what you're breathing watching this video.
Air, that shit's for normals and chumps. I breathe vaporized whiskey. Basically, I put whiskey into a special machine that aerosolizes it, and then I can breathe it in nice and hard. It is so much better than that air shit. I mean, air hardly gets you drunk at all, but this shit, smooth.
Yeah, but there's no air in space. It's a vacuum. Okay? See, rockets don't work in space. But let's just say in this imaginary Walt Disney World, they actually do. Okay?
Let's just say that they do the thing that they actually do. Well, how kind of you to grant us reality. And you know what? I'm not even taking the piss. Well, I am, but slightly less than normal because, you know, it takes some level of intellect to entertain a premise without accepting it. Who would have known CC might actually be the smartest flirt on Earth? And isn't that just damning with faint praise? Holy shit.
Okay, so now you're propelling through space in a vacuum with a rocket that cannot ignite in a vacuum, but
right we are, and dang does it go brr. And seriously, Clip, why makes you think that no scientist or engineer didn't notice this gaping hole, albeit in your knowledge? But let's just do the thing that you did and grant you that the claim is rocket am just fine in space. We am not do liquid oxygen. What if that is how it works? What if they use a different kind of combustion to the one that we use on Earth that doesn't require quote unquote air? I mean, they do, but you know, what I mean is that they don't even have to bring their own liquid air because they don't need to. There are tons of unintuitive inventions all around the world. The trick is to actually look up what they actually say about it instead of going on the internet and making a video that demonstrates your ignorance and then being surprised when people make fun of you for it. Google is right fucking there. Who am I kidding? He can't fucking read.
how do you control this rocket? Where is this rocket going to?
It's going to space, dumbass. I thought we already established this, and you gave us so graciously the fact that it works. Do you not think that like rudders and retro rockets and thrusters and all the other things that we use to control rocket trajectories on Earth, so why the fuck wouldn't they use the same things in space? You know, it's like he doesn't know anything about flight mechanics and that he's just talking shit about a subject he has absolutely no knowledge on. Oh, wait.
Because we are traveling through space in the solar system at hundreds of thousands of miles per hour.
Are you fucking kidding me? Where the hell are you getting this dreck? Dude, space rockets do not travel hundreds of thousands of miles per hour. Not even fucking close, at least when using those rockets. Now, there is a way to achieve those kinds of speeds, and let's just assume that he's getting confused because of the oxygen deprivation, that he thinks that all rockets are gravity assisted somehow, aka traveling towards something like the sun, and thus fucking hurtling around the motherfucker. Then they can in fact reach speeds of like 400,000 miles an hour. But he's not talking about that, and effectively it's not traveling that fast, it's doing a Buzz Lightyear, aka falling with style. But rockets on their own, they go at like 20,000 miles an hour, I think. Not the same.
So once you leave Earth, just like in a helicopter...
Leave Earth in a helicopter. Yeah, I guess the way that you're holding your hands together like this would be the same thing as fucking clapping. Because actually, no, that helicopter on a planetary scale might as well still be on the ground. That's how little they've actually flown up compared to the size of the damn thing. Also, I think I know where he's going to go next, although after last time, I'm not so sure, but still, after all these years, he really is just getting dumber, so I wouldn't be surprised.
This is my secondary question. Why can't I just go up in a helicopter and just stay up there and hover and then just China revolves around, huh?
Oh, okay, good. I thought he was going to say, why can't a helicopter to space? This is, I mean, it's just as dumb, but at least it's something. You can do that. It just takes a lot of fucking fuel and you have to like go there. But of course, you don't really mean that. You mean staying quote unquote still and letting the thing come to you. But it doesn't work like that. Because the fact is that you're on something with a certain inertial frame of reference. You essentially appear to be still on its surface because it's all about acceleration and the fact that the Earth, well, doesn't do that. Like how when you're on an airplane, when you take off, holy shit, you feel that. But once you're at cruising speed, besides the noise, it's almost like you aren't moving at all.
And I'll just land right down. Saves a lot of fuel, doesn't it? That's good for the environment.
Even if that wasn't incredibly fucking stupid, it would still be incredibly fucking stupid. You know that when you fly up and down, that still uses fuel, you great clunk. Like seriously, is there any form of aerial mechanics that you won't completely fail to understand? Maybe you should stop trying. Although then again, the world would be a much less funny place without it.
You know, we'll just all take helicopters and just hover up it, but you can't.
No, but that doesn't mean the reason why that doesn't work is the reason that you think it is. That's the thing about being correct. It doesn't mean that you're correct about everything, or in your case, somehow anything. Since the ratio is so close to zero, with that kind of margin for error, you might as well just round down.
Okay? Because we don't really know where the spin begins.
What the f*** does that mean? Where the spin begins? What the f*** is that? Oh, right, I know. I understand now. It means exactly what you think it means, which is to say it doesn't mean anything because thinking just isn't a thing you know how to do. What a shocking shonk.
Right, but okay, back to the rockets.
And I think that's where we'll finish it, because if we go back to the bit where you already didn't know what you were talking about and then we get back here and you do it all again, we will be here for fucking eternity. No, thank you, Chris. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.